Hello, family and friends. Hola, amigos y familia. Here today, I need to introduce myself. My name is Shari Laverde. Thank you for tuning into this video. I just want to jump right in as to the message that I want to give here today. And I think it's important that we as people that are being affected by what's happening in the world right now and this virus, that we express ourselves and we say what has been happening, so that hopefully other people either are able to connect with others and empathize, and just even give their own thoughts and ideas about this. And you know my family was, I want to say, directly affected by this virus, and I'll tell you how. My husband returned to work recently, June 1st, and within 2 weeks exactly, I want to say June 14th, he felt very, very ill. He got sick completely. What appeared like the flu, if you want to say, but the flu times 10 times. It was really bad. So I'm not going to go into details on all the symptoms, but it was symptoms that in case we were not in a pandemic, we would have just treated it as a flu. But it so happens that as the days progresses, he had more symptoms and more symptoms. So we definitely got worried, and at that point requested for a COVID test. He took two at that time, and they both came back positive. For us, that was a complete shocker. And I tell you why. My family has been super, super 100% extra, 110 200% extra cautious with all this. Since the beginning of the pandemic and everything that was going on, we restructured our home. We decided who was going to be going out for groceries, who was not. Myself and the kids would always stay home. We didn't go to gatherings. We follow all the guidelines. We were wearing masks when we went out, if we have to, which was very rare. We were wearing gloves. And even when my husband returned to work, he was making sure to wear, his mask. And then when he would come home, he would go straight into the shower, take off his clothes, just trying to prevent, if he ever got it, like bringing it home. And we were appreciative of that. And we're happy we started that before the pandemic got out of hand, or crazy, if you want to say. We were already implementing, whenever we come home from work, this is the steps that we were going to take, and we continue to do that. And I'm happy that we did, and I'll tell you why later in this video. But it's just the form that we took, the ways that we were handling things, I think later down the road helped us. Because when my husband did become ill, he recognized the first symptom right away, in terms of like, hey, I'm not feeling well. At that time, immediately, he isolated. Meaning, before pandemic, let me go back. Before pandemic, every time when somebody's sick in my house, we tend to isolate. We're lucky enough to have other bedrooms that we can do that. So in this case, we used my older son's bedroom, and we moved him to his sister's bedroom, and we allowed whoever's sick to be in there and recovering, doing all that stuff. And if we are feeling ill, we're wearing masks and everything. And that's primarily because I had my last baby. He was born premature, and he was born September 1st. And during that time, after September, that's when flu season starts to come and all that. So one of our members got really sick, and we did not want him near the baby at all. We were like, I don't know what you're gonna do, but if you're gonna be living here, you need to isolate. So we have put that in practice, and I'm glad we have, because I feel like when we found out about my husband having COVID, that prepared us right away. We were alert. We were like, shoot, he's feeling sick, let's isolate him. Okay, wait, he's getting worse, what's happening? No, we need to request for a test. And we did everything. We researched, we got the tests done. We were not thinking they were going to be positive, I'm going to be honest. We thought they were going to be negative. And then when we found out the news, hell broke loose. Sorry for the word, but it did. So at that time, we were like, oh, what's our next step? What we're going to do? And right now I'm calm talking about it because we've been through the hardest part already. But, when you're in that moment, a lot of things are happening. There's a lot of emotions involved. I mean, I went from angry, shocked, surprised, devastated. I mean, you name it. All the feelings that you can have at once. The moment that I found out my husband was positive, all that came down on me, and I just didn't even know how to react. I mean, I think I cried. I definitely cried a lot, but I needed to be strong for my children, so I needed to hold back and hold it and all that. But nevertheless, we'll go into those feelings later. But and I don't want to sound like I'm rambling. I just want to, again, tell my experience so that you know where I'm coming from and you see how this virus itself affects people in many different ways. So while this affected my husband physically, and we were in a position where we were just praying to God, like, oh God, please, I don't want him to get any more sick and end up in the hospital and something happening to him. I was very, very, very afraid of that. I was also afraid of my children getting sick. And, at some point when you're a mom, you're like, God, if you want this virus to run in my family and get us sick, get me sick first. Let me go to the hospital. Don't get my babies sick. And that was my initial thoughts. I have 3 children. And as I continue to do different videos and blogs, because this is not going to be my only video, I'm going to do plenty of more because I have so many thoughts in my head that I want to share with people. But going back, focusing on the COVID, I have 3 children, 12, 2.5, and 9 months. I'm thinking like, I don't want any of my children to get sick, because I don't know what's going to happen and how this virus is going to take place in their bodies. And, can you imagine? I knew that my husband was ill and his body was suffering and he was in pain. Body aches and headaches and all this other stuff. I can just imagine my little kids going through this. I mean, that's just a terrifying thought. And when they're sick alone, you already get unease and you're trying to figure out what medicines to give them. So when you have COVID and they have no treatment, you're thinking like, oh gosh, what am I gonna give my children if they get sick? So again, going back, we did isolate. He was in the room. He was wearing masks, he had gloves. We bought all medicines that we thought can treat him then. So like the doctor had told us, unfortunately they don't treat COVID, but they treat the symptoms that you're experiencing. So for the headaches and pain, it will be any painkillers or ibuprofen, or maybe I should have been saying those words because this is not a paid ad, but we, doing the over-the-counter stuff that will help. And he wore masks. What else did I say? He was taking, we're definitely taking vitamin C. I mean, we stacked up. The family started taking vitamin C right away. The kids, we got vitamins for the kids. We got our teas. So we were treating, giving him his teas, making sure that he was keeping his throat warm and all that. And we were doing everything that we have read up to this point and how to treat or how to, keep how to keep your family safe and what precautions or measures to take to keep your body healthy. We were doing all that. And I want to say within, I don't know, 5 days, I think he started feeling better. That's when we found out, at that time, actually, when he was already getting better, the same day that he got tested positive, my family right away called the doctor, told them we had a positive family member with COVID that has been obviously around us and we needed a test. So we all went to test. How could you not? It was a car full of people because it's a lot of us here. And we went all tested. I mean, from me all the way to my baby who is 9 months. And the next step of that, waiting for results. At that point, we implemented that everybody in the home was going to wear masks. Even though my husband was isolated and was not interacting with us much, I was bringing him the food upstairs and he pretty much spent like almost 2 weeks in a room. We still didn't want to take any chances, so we were wearing masks. So it's mommy wearing masks all day long from morning to afternoon. Not the kids under 2, but everybody. My son that is 12, grandma who lives here, and brothers-in-laws. Like, we were all wearing masks, doing our part to keeping safe, a hand sanitizer and all that. Finally, a week later, we get results. Thank God that they were negative. Thank God. I think during that period of time of wait and trying to figure out things, you go through a lot of emotions. You know, unfortunately, this is not a virus that only affects people physically. It affects them mentally, emotionally, psychologically. I mean, you name it. You know, it was hard as a mom to wrap your head around what the hell was happening in our household and how hell broke loose in a matter of minutes. And I say minutes because the moment, again, we got that test result from him saying that he was positive, we were already like, what the hell? And, you know, it was really hard. It was really hard for me just to keep my composure. You know, again, I tried to a lot around the babies because, and I keep moving my hair. I'm sorry, guys. It's bothering me. To try to keep my composure was very, very hard in front of the children. And even though as much as I did, you know, at nighttime, mentally I was drained and exhausted. And I was just physically like just tired. My body, my mind, everything was tired. I cried myself to sleep every night, and you know, you wake up the next day, and instead of feeling better, you're just like more drained. In terms of my, how do you want to say? I mean, in terms of affecting emotionally a lot, you know, the way that I want to say I acted, my behavior as a person changed a lot. I was just angry all the time. I was upset. I was, you know, unconsciously like upset about everything. Meaning like anything will just tick me off. You know, if the kids were screaming, I will get anxiety and just yell back. Or, you know, I will be frustrated that the babies wouldn't fall asleep right away. Like, which is something that they never do. But this time I think I was just more frustrated because I was like, I want you to sleep now, not later. Because I was just trying to, again, figure out my emotions as a person and trying to, you know, handle my feelings towards all this. And, you know, it was really hard. It took a very physical toll on me. And I want to talk about this because, you know, unfortunately, as strong as we are, I consider myself a very, very, very strong woman. And I've been through things and things that people, even my closest people, don't even know. Because there's just certain things that I don't, you know, like to talk about. But meaning, you know, there's challenges in life and things that happen to you, and you kind of try to move past that, and then you become a better person out of that. And I'm always the person of like, what can I learn from this experience or situation, and try to figure out what was being taught to me, like what lesson I was going to learn from that, and then I try to improve and be better. For many years I've been working on my attitude. I was not a patient person, but guess what? When I had my first child, I had to learn how to be patient. You have to have patience to have children. And I don't want to go off topic, but I'm just saying throughout the journey of me growing and becoming more mature and experiences in life, I've learned also to work through things that I've, you know, battled with, have had. I don't want to be an angry person all the time. I don't want to be frustrated all the time. I want to be, you know, calm and positive and understanding. And I've done a lot of work and I've come a long way. And when this happened, I feel like all that work that I've done for years went out the door. Went out the door. Like I forgot how to be patient. I forgot how to maintain my cool. I forgot how to, I mean, you know, I didn't get out of hand. I was able to control things, but I'm just saying, you know, if I wasn't yelling days ago, right now I was like screaming on top of my lungs if things weren't going my way. And, you know, I don't know. I can't explain, you know, everything that was happening in my mind. And then just talking about being mentally drained, going to sleep like exhausted. And even though I went to sleep, I woke up, my mind was tired. I wasn't resting. I'm not resting. I feel like my body is still tired. So the next day I'm even more tired. So, you know, I bring this message because, you know, I'm just a regular person like many other of us. And I want to be able to, let's say, connect with other people who are probably experiencing the same thing. And, letting them know that it's okay to talk about your emotions. It's okay to rely on people. It's okay to find your support. And that's another part that I wanted to discuss: support. Having a support system. At that time I was like, who do I talk to? Who do I turn? And, I'm in a social media platform that I felt at that time, one of the nights I wanted to talk about something, and I did want to talk about the effects of COVID in my family, but I think I wanted to go on the point where I was like angry about how things happened. But when I started talking on camera, it came out very differently. And I think my true emotions of how I was feeling at that time came about. And that was about how sad and devastated I was feeling inside. And you can hear it in my voice. Maybe I'll share that video and try to put it in here so you can see it. But it went completely different than the message that I wanted to originally give. And then at that moment, I realized, whoa, Shari, you are going through a lot and you're sad, and that's why this came about. And it's okay to talk about it, and it's okay to post it, and it's okay to reach out and have that support. And let me tell you, a lot of friends came to that post and just, were there and sympathetic and understanding and praying for my family and me, and that in some way gave me some comfort. And I was hearing stories of other people, and they were putting it in the comments like, hey, this happened to me and this is how we move past it, or whatever it was. Very encouraging words of people. And hearing their stories or reading about him, was very encouraging in the sense of like, wow, if they went through it and they were able to move past that, my family can too. And that was very helpful for me. So again, reaching out to your support system and not being afraid. I'm one of those that, when I'm going through something, I'm not one to want to reach out. I don't want to sound like I'm crying wolves and I need all kinds of help and support. But with this experience, what I learned is it's not about that. If you have families and friends that are there to support you and are there with you in the good times, they will be there with you in the bad times. And they will give you those messages of encouragement, and that sometimes we need. And it's okay to receive it. Because I think, me personally as a person, I do that for them too. So why not, receive it back? I'm gonna get distracted because I'm looking at my nails. I have not been able to do my nails in so long, guys. And my daughter painted them last time and they're just coming apart. But I have something cool and special that I bought that I'm gonna put. So maybe my next video I'll have it on and I can show you guys. But anyways, again, I wanted to I'm sorry if I just went off tangent and completely rambled about something else. But like I said, I'm just a normal person just sharing my story. And I think what I wanted to get out of this was, yes, you're going to experience a lot of things. You're probably going to feel angry and upset. And, the persons that are indirectly being affected by this, which is me in this case, I wasn't directly physically affected by COVID. I'm not positive. My husband was. But I was his partner. And this affected our household tremendously. And this I'm gonna talk about in another video, because being a working mom and with the whole pandemic now being home, that's a whole nother dilemma, situation, feelings, and things that I would like to discuss in a different video. So I will encourage my mommies who are going through the same to be there and listen and see if we connect again and we have the same feelings about it and how I've been able to overcome that. But this particular one, I wanted to share how COVID affected my family, directly and indirectly. And, COVID does affect people, and it's sad that it's still going on. So, again, I'm probably gonna focus on another video later as to the details on how my husband got COVID. But let me tell you, we have been working really hard to maintain away from all that, and the fact that it still got to my home for me was very heartbreaking. And slowly I'm recuperating or recovering from that. My family is recovering from that. My husband is also almost fully recovered, so thank you, Lord. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for him to just be his normal self. And I'm excited too for my family to go back to normal. We've been wearing masks in the house all day, every day for, I think, going on 3 weeks now. And we're tired. And we're tired. So anyways, I hope by listening to our story, you were able to connect in a way of understanding of the feelings and things that you may go through when you're personally directly affected by this virus. And I hope I'm not the only one. I hope just by even talking about it, I know that I'm gonna feel better after this video. But please, if you have comments on this and questions, or anything that you want to share on how was your experience and how you're recovering from it, I would like to know. Very supportive of other people and things that they're going through. I always have been. And this is like a seriously no judgment zone. I try to be very understanding of things, and just talking about it with other people is helpful. I understand that we can also talk about it with our family and friends, but sometimes there can be a little bit of judgment there, or maybe they're not fully understanding where we're coming from, and there could be some bias on the messages that are being said. I'm not saying that it's all the time, but in some cases it is. So maybe having somebody unbiased, or somebody that you don't even know, come and be understanding and helpful, I think will help us both. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to continue to post. Have so many ideas and things in my head, and things that I actually want to share. Not ideas, it's just messages of things that I want to share, that I've been through, that I feel like are good to put out there. And again, if you like this and what we talked about here today, please comment below. And I would love to hear your stories and see how you've overcome this craziness of a pandemic, and things that you're doing to protect yourself and your family. And I'll see you next time. So if you liked it, please give me a comment. If you feel like, girl, you went off tangent, please let me know. I just wanted to speak on the ideas that were in my mind at the time. So I hope I came across and said the messages that I wanted to say. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.